The number 3 recruit, Jasmine Davidson, is off to the University of Southern Cal in 2025. We will take a look at what this means for Southern Cal and how they are building just massive amounts of talent around Juju Watkins and to be coached by Lindsey Gottlieb. In addition, we will take stock of the talent that they have and how she might fit into USC's future plans. But before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel and giving the video a like. All right, let's get into this. So I did a video about a month ago on Davidson, and at the time I thought it was likely she would go to UCLA. I did think it was intriguing that she put UConn back on her list once Gino Auriemma announced his extension, but my overall sense of it was she was a West Coast kid and seemed to like Corey Close and UCLA, and I thought that they were favored in terms of getting to sign her. But what do you know? USC lands her, and the reason I didn't think she was going to go to USC because they were so stacked with wings. If you look at it, their incoming class in 2024 is stacked as they have Kennedy Smith, who's rated number 6 and a wing, and then they have Avery Howell, who's number 16, Ryan Forstier, who's number 54, and as well Laura Williams, who's rated number 92. As well, that class also includes Kayla Heckel, the number 13 recruit, who's a point guard. So in my mind, it was hard to envision that Jasmine Davidson would go to USC just because of all the wings they already have there. Now, Davidson did an interview with Talia Goodman on Monday, and she raved about her visit to USC, and it seems like they just blew her out of the water. As she said, "My visit to USC was 10 out of 10. The campus is beautiful. It's a great school educationally, which is really important to me. I met the players, and Juju was my host, so getting to meet her and getting to know the players was really cool." But really, trying to predict where these recruits will go or what will flip them to one school to the next is very difficult, because in July, Davidson was talking about UCLA and how much she liked, or she was getting close to their coaches, and how she'd become friends with Sienna Betts during the USA trip. And she had a planned trip to UCLA on the 11th of October. Well, obviously now that is canceled as USC continues to get stronger and becoming the dominant force on the West Coast. I think that's pretty clear with these recruiting classes that Lindsey Gottlieb has brought in. The other thing is that she obviously has a star in Juju Watkins that wants to facilitate and share the ball and is not afraid of losing any of the limelight. It seems like she just wants to bring in really good players around her. As Davidson talked about how it was great meeting Juju Watkins and how she was her host, and it seems pretty obvious that played a big part in securing Davidson's commitment to USC. The other interesting thing is they might not be done yet for 2025. As on that recruiting trip with Davidson in February, Grace Knox was there and Kennedy Smith. Now, Knox and Smith were teammates in high school, and Knox is down to 4 schools, which are Tennessee, USC, Texas, and LSU. So there is a large potential that they could land Knox as well, who's 6'2" and does a lot of her work on the inside. In regards to Davidson, I wonder if Juju Watkins and Gottlieb sold her on the idea of you would fit perfectly here as you go left and Juju loves to go right. And you can just envision this as Jasmine Davis she is left-handed, so and if you look at all the stats, like the scouting report on Juju is she likes her left hand, uses it to cross right, and then goes right. If you look at the shot charts, the majority of her baskets for Juju Watkins is on the right side. That's her move, especially in transition. She loves that little move of sort of setting it up with the left hand, crossing to the right, and then either a little mid-range right-hand shot or finishing at the basket with her right hand. Over the course of her freshman year, teams got the scouting report on her, and her numbers actually went down as it was obvious teams were forcing her to the left in the UConn game in the Elite Eight. Nika Mule and when Paige Beckers was on her, they were both just way overplaying her right side, just daring her to go left. Same thing with KK Arnold. When she was switched up on her, she was able to draw a charge on one of them as she was just overplaying the right and was able to get that call, although it looked like a blocking foul to me. The Orange County Register had a good story on Juju Watkins, and they outlined how she is currently really working on her left hand as well. It's been forced almost, and she's happy about that in ways because it's forcing her to improve and work on finishing with her left hand. As she had surgery on her right wrist, reportedly it's a lingering issue from high school that had to be taken care of, so she was in a cast. And over that time, reportedly with her trainer, they are just constantly working on short pull-up jumpers and finishing with her left hand to get that another move in her bag so that she can have a counter and go to the left. But obviously when Davidson gets there in 25, it would just be a beautiful thing, running dribble handoff where you can have Juju going right and then able to give the handoff to Davidson, who's comfortable obviously going left and could have a pull-up left-hand jumper or go all the way to the basket. I can envision Gottlieb just setting all different sort of plays for that and her working well with Kennedy Smith, who I also believe is right-handed. But the thing with USC right now, it's almost like that situation where if you have a football team and you have a good coach and a quarterback, you have a chance at a championship every year. And the same thing in basketball, if you have an alpha star and a good coach, you have a darn good chance of winning a championship. And you would think over Juju Watkins' time, she is going to get a chip at some stage with the talent that she is bringing in around her. And it's pleasing to see as she took a chance on staying local and she has built the program up around her where she grew up versus going to one of the major already established schools and joining their program. She's built her own along with Gottlieb. And yeah, I think it's a good story. I cannot wait to watch them face off versus UConn, as I wonder if they will have Paige Beckers guard Juju Watkins or be the primary defender against her. When they met in the Elite Eight, it was Nika Mule, obviously, that was on her, but I don't think they'll want to put Caitlin Chin on Juju Watkins. I noted during I rewatched UConn versus USC, and they had Cadence Samuels on her a few times, and Watkins got her with her left hand, then cross over to the right. I think Watkins got her twice on that, but obviously Samuels will be older. Maybe they'll put her on her, or maybe they could use Morgan Shelley, but I don't think Aubrey Griffin would be back by that point, as it'll be 21st of December. I reckon Griffin will come back in January, and I don't think AZ Fudd will be up to speed either. I could be wrong. Hopefully I am wrong, and those two will be back and getting normal minutes, but I suspect it'll be a gradual build for both of those players. But the other fun thing to watch with UConn and USC is just seeing the lessons that Juju Watkins has learned from the previous loss, and if she is able to make the adjustment and prevent teams from overplaying her on the right side. As well, the other adjustment is just using the talent around her as she has more talent. Obviously, in the upcoming season with Ari Offen there and Talia von Oelhoffen, and seeing if USC develops a more inclusive offense, less usage for Juju, and shares the ball around, because overall I thought she wore down towards the end of the season last year. Teams got the scouting report as well. She got pretty beat up during the season. And if they can share the ball around more this season, that would give them a chance to really take that next step and make the Final Four. So overall, I do see the fit of Jasmine Davidson going to USC and how her game could blend quite nicely with Juju. The other thing it clearly signifies is that USC is the power rising on the West Coast, as Stanford is going to the ACC with a new coach, and it's just unclear how that is going to develop, but it's clear UCLA and USC are going to fight it out in the Big Ten. I think it's pretty clear that USC currently, if you're looking at it, has the upper hand. Now over to you, your thoughts, your comments, your poison. All is welcome. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great night.